All right. Welcome to Flip It Curiously. I am Tony of Downside Up, and joining me, as always, is my co host.
Hey guys, I'm Brennan, the Curious Picker.
Good evening, Brennan.
Good evening, Tony.
It is not too late in the evening, but it's been dark for at least an hour.
Yeah. Daylight savings has hit us here in the Midwest.
Yes, it
It's
sure has.
it's interesting. I've actually found it easier to get up in the morning
Yeah.
here recently. It's been kind of nice, but yeah, it's dark very early, and that's it's pretty lame.
Yeah. Yep. So, anyways, we are both resellers. I am a full-time reseller. Brendan is a part-time reseller, and we enjoy the adventure of hunting for treasures at garage sales, thrift stores, online, and even through people who we know. We purchase items that people believe have a downside, and we sell them for a profit on eBay and other platforms. Our hope is to have a great time while while educating our listeners about reselling and talking about life.
Said it very, very well there, Tony. So one tip we can give to everyone right now is eBay is down.
Yeah, it's way down.
Hopefully by the time you're hearing this, that is not still the case. If it is, then they're losing some money. We're going to be in some big trouble. We at this point, yeah, you get back to paint. At this point, we cannot ship any items. It shows that we haven't sold anything. So that's fun.
Yeah. Oops, something went wrong.
Something definitely went wrong.
Yeah.
But today it is Wednesday. It is November 10th. This is episode 19. So thank you guys again very much for hanging out with us and coming back. Typically, we start our podcast with a segment we like to call Sip It, where we both share beer. Sounds like today I'm drinking alone.
You are drinking alone, sir.
Drinking alone. So I guess I'll go ahead and kick it off. Let's see if I can see if the sound works. It's gonna look kind of awkward on camera. I don't know if you got that or not.
Oh, a little bit.
Okay. So
because you got the
I got the headset thing.
Like, yeah.
So today I am drinking Santa's Bribe from Taft's Brewery. This is a Christmas cookie ale brewed with cinnamon, ginger, and vanilla. It is quite fantastic. I've had it before. It is 6.2%. And I am a huge fan of Christmas beers. I really like the fall and Christmas beers, a little darker, little Christmassy vibe. I'm a huge fan. This one is very good if you haven't had it before, if you like that sort of thing.
I have not had that. I will say that now I think my palate is shifting over the course of the past year or so. I used to really love the hazy IPAs, and I still do, the New England hazy IPAs. I do still like those, but I found myself drinking them less often, choosing them less often. And I'm finding myself picking a stout and darker stuff more often than I used to. Now, part of that is the time of year, fall. There's some really good pumpkin ale and pumpkin stout and things like that. There's also some terrible ones. Same thing with the Christmas beers. Traditionally, I don't like much of what I've had at Christmas time, but like I said, my palate has changed a little bit. Maybe I would enjoy it more this year. Because the one my brother loves, the one from Great Lakes, and I think it's just absolutely disgusting.
Oh, so, wow. Oh, man.
Yeah. I know I'm in the minority there, but I'll have to try it because he'll have it for Christmas. I know that. So I'll have to check that out. But
yeah, I'm a big fan of that one. Actually, I just bought I guess they've got a special release that they've aged in bourbon barrels. So I bought one of those that I'm just letting that one sit downstairs for a while.
Yeah, usually the ones that they have aged, even like I don't like to talk badly about local breweries. The one big one here is Warped Wing in Dayton.
Hmm.
and I think they have probably my least favorite beer overall.
Oh, wow.
But the ones that they have that the ones that they age, like they do age with the bourbon barrels, are usually pretty good, um, pretty potent.
Hey,
So
that's what we're looking for.
yeah, I mean, I would love a beer. I have not had a beer in a week or so, just about a week. Um, I had surgery this week, so the medications that I had surgery last Friday on my ear, and so the medications that I am on prohibit me from drinking, and I'm going to stick with that. Um,
Smart.
Tomorrow I'm finally stopped taking those medications after my pill this morning. I just decided I'm done. I'm going to probably flush those guys. And then tomorrow I want to be able to drive myself. So I wanted to get 24 hours off of that medication, and
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't want to mess with anything. So that's why I'm not drinking tonight.
Being very responsible.
I looked at the fridge earlier and I was like, oh, I haven't had a beer in a while. And then I was like, oh, I remember why I didn't have a beer. I touched my ear, and like it's numb. My ear is numb. There's packing in there that keeps falling out. I got stitch stuff going on in the back. They literally, like, they had to shave part of my head back here, not much, just a little, and then they drilled into my skull.
That sounds terrible.
I will say that the pain the first day wasn't so bad because I still had all the, like, the intravenous, what is that, intravenous IV?
Intravenous. Yeah.
Yeah, intravenous. I had all that still in my system.
Oh, wow.
I did not want to wake up. They had me sitting up, trying to get me to drink stuff. Apparently it took me a long time to, like, come out of whatever anesthesia they put me through, but I was
Jeez.
out, and I was out hard. But yeah, so my surgery went well, though.
Good.
It's from what I gather. So they thought there was infection behind my eardrum. I always called it poison, but infection behind my eardrum, and there was not any infection. There was just a much larger cyst on my eardrum than they expected. They thought there was one, but not quite to the extent it was. It also looks like it didn't erode any of my hearing bones, which means it's just been kind of getting in the way, which they then believe that they can restore a good portion of my hearing. So
It's awesome.
that's great. And I've got another surgery in 4 to 6 months. They also did something called just a skin graft, I guess. It was a tympanoplasty, where they take part of your skin somewhere, and they put it in
Move
there
it somewhere
somewhere.
else.
They
Yeah.
put it in there somewhere else, and they're trying to regenerate tissues so they can reconstruct my eardrum in 4 to 6 months. So yeah, I mean, I still have pain, but it's not as bad as it was. It was probably the worst come, like, Sunday, like
Like
the
right
third,
after.
yeah, the third
Yeah.
day was probably about the worst. Sunday, and then I think Monday went well. I just got a notification from eBay, got another offer. People are buying all my Reader's Digest books here, which is great. So, all right.
Sorry, lost.
You're fine.
What was the notification?
I got some offers. I think there's somebody in Canada buying all of my Reader's Digest books. I bought a bunch
Oh,
of those
nice.
at not a thrift store, but at a rummage sale in
Ones with the
May.
pretty covers.
What's that?
The ones with the pretty cover.
Yeah, the ones with the
Yep.
pretty covers. And so I've just been selling. I send people offers for $20 on them all the time, and I've sold a good amount. But I sold 2, and then I got another offer. I'll accept that, 15 on one that's like 25. I just want to
Oh,
get
man.
rid of them.
Yeah.
I paid 20 for the entire lot of stuff I bought that day, so I've made my money up, multiple times.
Heck yeah.
Sorry, a little
Very good.
pain in the ear.
Yeah.
Whew.
Playing hurt today.
Yeah. I'm playing injured. We do not have any listener questions as per usual. No comments or anything. But I'll just throw this out here to any of our listeners, because we do have regular listeners. What can we do as hosts of the pod to make our podcast a little more interesting? Do you want to see some variation? Do you want to hear us talk about our bolos and things, kind of our of the weeks that we do every week? I know some other podcasts will do those just every once in a while and like an update. So I said a lot. So let us know. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from our listeners with some feedback so we can make it better for you, make it more interesting, make it more educational. I know you and I have talked a little bit about trying to get some guests on.
Yep.
So that's something we'd like to try to do too. So if you have any questions, comments, any advice, any tips, feedback about the podcast, send us an email at flipitcuriously@gmail.com. Also, you can put it in the comments on the YouTube channel once this goes up on YouTube. Or you can send us a message as Curious Picker on Instagram and Flip It DU on Instagram. You can send it to either of us. And then we also have that buymeacoffee.com/flipitcuriously, just as a way to, if someone wants to donate a little beer money to us, that's out there and available.
Beer or bourbon?
Yeah. Or what kind of bourbon you have? I'm not a big bourbon guy, but Christy likes bourbon.
I can't remember the name of it right now. It's a really good one though.
Ah, that one.
Yeah, that one. I don't know why I'm blanking on.
Because you had too much bourbon.
Probably. This is only my first glass, but
Yeah.
I cannot think of what the heck is the name of that bourbon. Oh man, it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to go downstairs. I'll tell you guys later what it is.
Figure out what it is.
Yeah.
In the meantime, eBay is down, so things are going to be a little different today. We thought, we'll do things maybe just a little bit different than we typically do. Just talk a little bit through. We've got a topic that I think makes sense for us to talk about, and probably a good portion of our listenership also deals with what we're going to deal with in our main topic here today.
Elijah Craig small batch bourbon.
Okay,
That's what it is. Elijah Craig. It's very good.
I went, my old boss, Robbie, still my good friend. He was one of my groomsmen. We hadn't, hung out much lately since I left his company. So we went to a place in Dayton called the Century Bar, which is a whiskey bar. And man, it was good. I told the guys, I don't really drink this kind of stuff. And I told him I was just, back from my honeymoon, and I had some drinks down there called a Bushwhacker down in Alabama.
Great name.
The Bushwhacker, not to be confused with Luke and Butch, the wrestlers, the Bushwhackers.
The Bushwhackers, yep.
But it's a pretty, it's like almost like just an alcoholic milkshake, kind of sweet, and it was almost like an alcoholic Frosty, which.
Ooh, that sounds fantastic.
It was good. So he's like, don't worry, I got you. And so he made me something that it was his own drink. It's on their fall menu called like the Good Night Irene. It was real good. It was real good. So if anybody's in the Dayton area or visits the Dayton, Ohio area, the Century Bar downtown it was really impressive. It's a nice place. I think you and John would enjoy going there. We should hit that up sometime.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. The Century Bar.
Century Bar. It's awesome. It's very cool. I think they reconstructed or redid the bar. It's a big, like a huge wooden structure. I think they had it refurbished or something, but it's pretty cool.
It looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'm looking at the centurybardayton.com.
Yeah.
Oh man, good Lord.
There's a ton of booze.
Yeah. Holy crap.
There's a ton. I was like, I don't even know what's happening here.
That looks amazing.
So while we're, kind of just scooting our way through this podcast, I got half a numb leg over here from the surgery or anesthesia or possibly just from the doctor thinks it's from maybe I just laid on it too long and pinched a nerve or something. Because when I sleep, I have like this ear looks like it's way out here and this one's like flat. So
Mhm.
I, I hope it's not normally like that, but I also have like a bunch of stuff in the
Stuff
back.
in there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gotta be so weird.
It's very weird to have your ear, like all of a sudden you'll feel things moving in there and it's like,
Yeah.
that's not right. And I'm finding random pieces of, I found something the other yesterday. I was like, it looks like my earlobe. What is that? It's something had fallen out. And I guess it's the packing or something. It's pretty. So we decided since Halloween was recent, we would do a bit of a horror, horror episode about my ear falling off. Um, so,
Makes sense. Makes
so
perfect sense.
I figured let's hit up a little sports minute. Um,
Cool. Yeah.
the Browns won.
They won big.
They won big. They looked very good. So I thought
Did.
let's throw a quick. I didn't prep for this, and you probably didn't either. Good, bad, and ugly. So what do you think was what was the good? Like what was the good of that game specifically?
Specifically, the good of that game
Yeah,
was seeing that team respond and play as a team after the whole week of the nonsense of Odell and just that circus aspect that's
yeah,
not really football.
yeah,
Seeing them get back to playing football and just have fun playing football
yeah.
without the headache. So to me, that was the good. We didn't say the great, but the great was Denzel Ward.
He was
he was
phenomenal.
fantastic.
That was the
He
best I've ever seen him play, and
he
I've been
was
down on
so
him.
good.
I've been down on. He has not had a good year, um, comparatively to his other
Yeah,
years. But boy, did he have like his career game this week.
yeah, against a fantastic receiver.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think he was on him all the time, but
they
I
they
mean,
both. I mean, anybody who was on Jamar Chase. Now Chase was dropping balls. Chase was not
yeah,
not bringing them in. You could tell he was rattled. But when you play that good of a defense, or that you play defense that well, um, that's what happens to those
yeah,
receivers.
you
He's
don't make it
young.
easy on him. Yep.
He's young. He is one of the best. He's clearly the best rookie player as of right now. So yeah, good and great. I would agree. I'd say the good. Let's just say big plays. We saw big plays.
Yep.
We saw Nick Chubb, just a phenomenal when he broke that. I saw him start to break that run, and I thought, okay, this could be a big run. And then he just like that man has like a second or third gear where he just
Takes
like
off.
in open field. I don't there can't be that many that like running backs that are as fast top speed as Nick Chubb is. He played really well. So that play, Baker had that huge pass, went deep, which people have been
Yeah.
complaining about them not doing that, and they just kind of shoved it in certain wide receivers' face and said, "Look, our number 11 can do it.
Yeah.
He catches it when he's open."
Yep.
And they had that big play. I thought that was great. And then Denzel Ward, 99-yard interception return for a touchdown. And they were looking awful in that drive, and even the second drive. And I don't remember
Yep.
what ended the second drive. Was it a field goal or did they score? I think they actually scored.
They scored. Yep. Yep.
But then it was like nothing for the majority of the game. So I would say, yeah, the good were the big plays. Denzel Ward was phenomenal. And then you said the way they responded as a team was good as
Yeah.
well.
And I guess one more thing with that, with those big plays and getting up big, when the defense doesn't have to respect the run, they seem to be better.
Mhm.
I don't know why that is. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's lots of reasons for that.
Yeah.
But with this game, once they got up big enough that the run was not an issue, like they really didn't do much against
They
them.
stayed up, and that's
Yeah.
something that they have really struggled with for the last 2 years in Joe
Yeah.
Woods' defense. Is like it's like they let off. And I will say too, Kevin Stefanski did not let off the gas when it
Yep.
came to the offense either. And that's I think what you typically see is he starts to get conservative and the other team gets back in it. And they didn't do that. And I'm grateful that they didn't do that, or that they had such big plays that they didn't allow themselves to do that. Maybe it would have ended up that way if that was only a 1 yard or 2 yard run or a first down instead of a 70-yard run or whatever it was. Things are a little bit different when those big plays aren't happening.
Yep.
But either way, it was great to see, and to get them out of the basement, which I can't believe we're saying that they were even there. So what would you say in that game or the lead up? What would you say? Because good, bad, ugly. What would you say is bad? I've got one I kind of shared with you earlier.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, go with your bad.
Yeah, so I shared with Brendan earlier, and part of it is because it shows that we are certainly more penalized than any other team. And so I would say the bad would be the penalties, but I'm not going to go with the bad being the penalties because of lack of discipline. I'm going with the bad officiating that is plaguing this league right now. And you're seeing it all over the place. You're seeing bad calls. There was a late hit or an unnecessary roughness hit called like almost into the next play against the Browns towards the end of the game that it just made no sense. It was, I think his name's Sheldon Day. And he went, he took Burrow down. Everybody got up, was going to the next play. All of a sudden there was a flag. And it's like, even Burrow, like they didn't know what was going on. And they talked about it forever. And then on the broadcast, they're like, this must have come from New York. This must have come from like league offices. And you watch those plays and you're like, that's the next play probably should have been unnecessary roughness or a penalty, but they called it on the other play. So you're seeing these taunting calls, which taunting is unnecessary. But when you make taunting cost people the game, there's like, what's the point? Like, what are you trying to prove at that point? You're trying to show these, are you trying to teach young kids that the NFL players are role models? Is this like, what is the purpose of cracking down on taunting? I'm not sure I understand.
I 100% agree with you. I mean, this is a very violent sport it is very hard to do anything good in that sport. So when you do something good, I mean, I understand the desire to, kind of want to show up your opponent a little bit.
Right.
And as long as it's not, if you're pointing if you're pointing like a fake gun at someone, or if you're doing like a throat slash, okay, yes, those you don't need that.
Yeah.
But staring, saying a few things, what's the big deal? It's not like we're hearing what they're saying. Now, if we were hearing what they're saying, maybe that would matter.
Right.
But that's not the case. Yeah, and with the taunting, that one is extremely subjective, right?
Yeah.
Like holding penalty, we can see that. Like, you can tell, okay, he is he's pulling the jersey, he's holding it for 5 seconds. That's holding. I get it. Throw the flag. That's fine. But with the taunting, it's they're taking that one a little too far, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know I'm a Browns homer, but I have never seen a defensive line be held as often as those guys are and penalties not be called. Like blatant throat, our hands and arms around the throat, like just holding Myles Garrett because he's going to murder their quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, I get that he's good, but you can't have two sets of rules. They do that in basketball, which I don't like, is guys like LeBron, who are the best players, instead of, having to play. Well, that I can't necessarily say that, because watching him in Cleveland, that guy got hacked an awful lot because he's so physical.
So big. Yeah.
But then those guys also, because they're the stars, they get calls that maybe some random guy doesn't get. So I would say that would be the bad for me is the penalties overall in the NFL, and especially the officiating, just the officiating of those penalties. There was a big one that kind of changed the complexion of the game, the Steelers and the Bears, from what I heard. And I watched it, and I understand. I know people who are up in arms about it being taunting. I don't think you have an argument that it wasn't taunting. I think it was clearly taunting. He stepped towards the bench. No one else is over there. There's no reason. However, the Bears fans were quick to point out, okay, when TJ Watt sacks the quarterback, he looks at the other bench and like blows a kiss or something. So why is that okay?
Right.
Is it because he's one of the best? Is that okay? As opposed to some random guy on the Bears who, took down the quarterback or whatever. So
Right.
I think that you have to be consistent in it. And if you perceive one thing to be taunting, you need to look at most of those celebrations probably should be. I'm surprised they're allowed to celebrate at all because I thought they got rid of that. Then they brought the
They
celebration,
brought the celebrations back, which are awesome. The
which
celebrations are
but
fantastic.
celebrations also are now starting to be taunting in certain situations. Like if you're celebrating, because what that guy did, he celebrated his sack the same way he always has, but because he kind of took a couple steps after that towards the other bench, even though he's in the middle of the field, they called that taunting. There were guys back in the day, I think, that used to do the throat slash.
Yeah. They started trying to crack down on that.
Right. And I get that. I do understand eliminating that. But when the taunting penalty affects the end of the game, like the actual outcome of the game, that could then affect the outcome of the entire playoffs, the entire league, the rest of the year. Because if the Steelers lose that game, we're up in, I think we're tied with them or something for second.
I think so.
Right. And that puts them back down where I think they probably belong, is closer to the bottom of the division. The Bears are not a good team. I don't know what the Bears are. Justin Fields came back a little bit.
Playing better.
He came back, but I would have to say consistently does not look like an NFL quarterback. When he was drafted, my concern was the one team you do not want to be drafted to as a quarterback, especially his style, is the Chicago Bears, because they don't know what to do with quarterbacks. And people can complain about the Detroit Lions being bad. The Detroit Lions had a quarterback who is now on a Super Bowl contender, who was with them since the day he was drafted and made them a better team, but the people around him weren't as good as he was. So, I don't think the Lions are as bad of an organization as the Bears. I think the Bears and maybe the Jets are consistently the worst organizations right now.
So I'm going to disagree with you on that. The Lions are the worst organization, and here's why. They made Barry Sanders retire in his prime and Calvin Johnson retire in his prime. Two of the all-time greats were like, you know what?
Yeah,
I can't play anymore at this. I can't play for them anymore. I'm done.
I get that.
That's why they're the worst.
But that was 21. That was 21 years ago for Barry Sanders. It's 2000 or 2001. And then Calvin Johnson was more recent. However, the Browns were Browns were 1-31 or 32 like 2-3 years ago. So I don't think that certain, like, I get that they have consistently been bad, but I don't think, even with the Bears, they'll win every once in a while, but you wonder how. They don't ever have a star.
Oh, they had
Urlacher.
They had Urlacher, yeah.
I gotta sip it, right?
Oh, nice.
Apparently there was Capri Sun from the wedding left over, so
heck yeah.
Need something. But anyways, that was the bad. And then the ugly, I'm gonna go with the OBJ situation. That whole week leading up to that game it's just so ugly. And if any of you are listening and he goes to your team or you want him on your team, I wanted him on my team too. I'm an LSU fan. I wanted to draft Beckham or Landry. They didn't do either. I ended up getting both of them later in life on the same team, and nothing but disappointment. And he can say he's open all he wants. He's dropped many balls. His attitude, knowing that when he was injured last year, that team almost went to the AFC Championship, and he wanted a trade. He went and asked for a trade because he didn't want to be on that team. That shows that it's not about winning for him. It's clearly about statistics.
Yep.
And I will say the three teams that they've listed as him going to are the Green Bay Packers, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the other one was the New Orleans Saints. So first off, he will not be the best receiver on any of those three teams. Michael Thomas is hurt for the year, so for now he would be potentially, but he would be still the third best player on the team behind Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas down there. And he's got Trevor Siemian throwing to him the rest of the year. Good luck with that. Go to Kansas City. He's already the fourth. He'd be the third best option possibly on Kansas City behind Kelsey and Hill. Right now, he's not going to be happy with that.
And they don't look great. Something's not right there.
They don't look right at all. And I don't think he's going to help that. You can't fix the offensive line by putting a receiver that doesn't run the routes correctly out there. And then Green Bay's got two incredible running backs and Devontae Adams. He's not going to be the top. He's not going to be the star on any of these teams he goes to. They talked about Seattle, DK Metcalf. He's not going to be ahead of Metcalf in Seattle. He's just not. And Russell Wilson's not going to put up with his kind of, his stuff. Clearly it's about numbers for him. I saw one video with he and Nick Chubb from 2019, I think. And they're sitting on the bench and Odell walks up to him and he's like, Chubb had just scored a touchdown. He's like, I want to score a touchdown. And Chubb goes, I just want to win.
Yep.
And it just showed the difference between the two of those people.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was going to be that way. I really thought that he would be productive. And
I did as well. The one thing I'll say, and in his defense, because I agree with everything you said. The one thing I will say is he didn't say anything during the season. Like he hasn't come out and said anything.
Right.
He hasn't made a big show of it. So I do appreciate that.
And I think that's why they were able to amicably split. They worked together to make sure it worked for both of them.
Yep.
And I get that. And Baker's not fully he's not free of fault either. He clearly is not as good of a quarterback when Odell's on the field, and it doesn't make sense.
It makes zero sense. I don't understand why.
Unless that guy is so demanding of him outside of off the field and just on the field, like throw me the ball, that he's throwing it to him. And because he doesn't catch the ball a lot.
He's dropped quite a few that I've seen this year.
So anyways, he's not a problem for us anymore. That I think that was ugly. And I really like that you started off that they went on and said, you know what, this happened. We're going to go out there and play our best game. And they did. And they played probably their best game of the year, top to bottom.
I mean, it's the ultimate team game. Like that's 100% what it is. And I get, receivers, I mean, he wants another contract. Like he wants another big payday. He hasn't really had a great year in a while. So I mean, I understand that. But this team is just not a good fit for him.
No.
Like this team is not a 380 yards passing on a Sunday. This is a running, punch you in the mouth football team.
Yeah. Hit
the big play, which means if it's thrown to you and you're open, you have to catch it because you're only going to get 2 or 3 chances a game for something like that. That is the way that this team is built.
Right.
And it worked for us last year. I think it will continue to work for us. So
yeah, I think so too. So that was our sports minute, which we always take much longer than a minute because other than text message, we don't talk about it. Sports. Go sports. So we don't have I know we don't have much access, if at all, to eBay right now.
eBay.
I got another offer for it was there for 1 second. There it is. But I don't have any.
I have orders. I can see them again.
I can't see my orders.
No, I can see some of mine. I can
see offers and non-payment and send offers. Oh, mine's also, oops, that's all right. But anyways, I haven't done a whole lot of sourcing at all. I know you've had some interesting stuff the last week, couple of weeks actually.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
tell us a
a
little
ton
bit
of
about
stuff.
some of the stuff that you found, whether it be garage sales or thrift stores, whatever. What's some of the cool stuff you found here recently?
Yeah, I've got a lot. I really
Or
do.
more than
It's
I do.
been pretty nice here recently. Um, I'm trying to think about what to show since I actually was able to pull these up now.
Oh, yeah.
Um, oh wait, nope, I'm not shipping any orders yet, guys. Sorry. Yeah, they're still experiencing issues, but I can at the very least get to them. So I'm trying to think. Last time we talked, so since the last time we've talked, I had one really good yard sale find. Very expensive. Um, definitely the most that I've ever spent at one yard sale. So I bought, say, 19 Department 56 Halloween pieces.
Those are
And I paid $950. Um, I tried to offer him 6. He was not having that 600, that's for sure. Which is okay. So I paid, you know, I paid up. I paid 950. He does also have, he says he has a lot of other Halloween accessories as well as a lot of Department 56 Christmas.
yeah.
So I'm hoping, so he has my information, I have his, I've texted him. So I will be hoping to be able to go over there and look at some of that and some of those items here in the future. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, I guess, as part of our, you know, part of our main topic. But so from that sale, let me see here, I'm sorry. So, you know, I like my spreadsheets. So I put all those items into a spreadsheet. So I paid $950. My projected, based on what I listed these at, was $2,775. So far, I've sold 4 items at a total of $535. So with the fees, you know, I'm still not another profit yet. We're at you know, minus 479 right now. So we've cut into that number pretty well. We've still got, I've got some big ones left. I've got one listed at 296, one listed at 360. Almost all of them were listed over $100. There were 3 items that were listed under 100. So the way I look at it is 19 items. If I average $100 per item, I'm going to double what I spent. Is the way that I was looking at that. So
Right.
Yeah, I was very excited about it. It was a really cool cool buy.
Yeah.
And if screen sharing is turned on, I can turn. Yep, it looks like it is.
Yep. Should be.
Share. So I can share a couple of these. So these just sold. This one just sold today, and I had it listed at 265. One thing I will point out for anyone that does buy these to resell, there are lots of little pieces, and so you need to pay attention to everything that's supposed to be in the set. I made a mistake with this one. This person reached out to me and said, "Hey, does this have the bats and the fishing pole?" And I responded to him, and because I sent him an offer at 235 because he was a watcher, and I said it does not have those two. I said I thank you for pointing that out because I didn't realize it myself. So
yeah,
those little tiny things are things you definitely want to look out for with these. He was cool with it, and he paid. He bought it for 235, which was awesome. And this one, I thought this one is actually really cool. This is the haunted coal car. So I was test these. So turn it on and these guys just kind of push
Yeah.
and just like kind of roll along there. So I thought this one was awesome. And I think I took an offer of 110 on that one. So yeah, those were two of the pretty good sales from that find. I have, oh, what does that say? I don't know what's going on anymore. Whatever. So a couple other things I'll show these two here real fast.
Mhm.
And again, this will also play a little bit into our main topic. So a few weeks back, I bought a bunch of professional audio equipment from a garage sale. I paid it. That was the most I had paid at a garage sale until the Department 56. I don't remember exactly what I paid now at that sale, but I've done very well, very well with that one. Let's just look at it real fast. I paid $375 at that sale for all of the professional rack equipment, a bunch of cassettes, and some vinyl. And as you can, well, if you're watching, you can see. So total sales so far is $2,050. So nice profit of almost $1,500 from that sale. That has to have been the best sale in Cincinnati this year. And the reason I say that was because before this sale, there was another reseller. I think it's Ready Set Resell.
Okay.
I think. No, I'm wrong. It was not him. It was Vincent's Valuables.
Okay.
Who is also local to Cincinnati. He got to this sale before I did.
Yeah.
He got a big box of really great Nintendo 64 games.
Oh.
He also got like 3 of these audio pieces, like 3 roll-in pieces. Like this sale was just amazing. I was so glad he didn't buy everything. He only had a certain amount of cash with him. I think if he had enough with him, he would have bought everything from the sale.
Yeah.
So again, the fact that there's so many resellers in Cincinnati, we could both hit this sale and both do really well.
Yeah.
Is just awesome.
Yeah. I mean, really well.
Yeah. I was very, very pleased. So that brings me back to this. So these, this was not a part of that sale, but for me, anyone that knows me, if I get into something, I really get into it. So I bought all those, and I was like, yes, very, very much so. And I was like, you know what? I got to find more. I need more. So I've been searching and finding other pieces of audio equipment. So I purchased about 7 pieces from a church that I pay $300 for. So these microphones in this wireless set sold for $132, and he threw in this microphone for me, and this one sold for $55.
Wow.
So yeah, those are some of my better sales here recently.
Very cool. Yeah. For me, I just in general, things are going well. I'm on my, this is November will be my, let's see, October, September, October. November will be my 3rd full month of full-time reselling. I started about halfway through August. But my 90-day totals up over 19,000 for the first time ever. That's
awesome.
That's been awesome. I've got 412 sold items. My average sale price is still, somewhere, I guess I could check it out, but it's still, I think it's still above $40, which I'm really happy about. 19,185. This has been crazy too today because $45.57 for average sale price.
Wow. Yeah.
It's been crazy because I started my day I went to bed, I was back under 19,000. And today at some point I got up to 19,300. Then I ended up back down again to 19,000. Now I'm up to almost 19,200 again. Like I've had a really good, my last 24 hours, I think I've sold, maybe a little more than 24 hours now, maybe about 36 hours total, but I've sold like, since I shipped yesterday to now, I've sold probably 700, $700 worth of stuff, which I'm super happy with that.
Yeah.
So sales are going well. I had my best month ever last month. I was over about 6,500 in sales, and that was with the wedding. So I didn't do anything that week. The week after, I did very little, and then I went on the honeymoon, so we were completely gone, and my store was on vacation. I sold the most I've ever sold. So I literally listed 5 days last month,
Wow.
and had 6,500 in sales. And this month is going pretty well. I checked earlier. I guess I can check again because now things are working.
Back to, yeah.
Um,
Got it
but
working again.
but my month so far, let's see, this month, I think I'm about 2,500 so far in 10 days. I'm happy with that. So it's been a good start.
Yeah, you've been killing it. I mean, just I don't remember what your numbers were before, you went full time, but like you have
pull up July.
you have like skyrocketed like with the sales. It's been very, very, very cool to see.
Yeah, let me tell you, because July was a rough one. The problem is my August was pretty good, so now that's fallen off. My total sales in July were $1,735. That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference. Like from 1,000 in July to what was last month, 65?
6,500, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, it looks like I've sold either 3 or 4 sets of Reader's Digest books. 1, 2, 3. I think it's actually 4, but maybe it's only 3. It happened during the glitch.
During the glitch.
So yeah, I haven't been out looking for much lately, but when I do go out, I'm finding things I'm pretty happy with.
Yeah.
I don't really know about top sales. The one thing I wanted to mention is I've talked about that Barbie consignment deal before, and I was just looking to see what I owe this lady right now. I was doing that this morning. So far from August 1st, which it wasn't even, I think it was September 1st. I just put everything from August just to see if I had anything there. But from August until October 31st, I sold, I guess, 32 items.
Jeez.
And the total sales on those items were $1,691 in Barbies.
Wow.
So I'll get 40% after fees. I'll get 40% of that. And I'm gonna, I had to buy special boxes for the size of Barbies and stuff, so I'll take that off as well. But yeah, that's gone really well so far, and I still have 2 boxes here to list.
Jeez.
And she's got a bunch still at the house. So I think what I'm going to do is offer her some sort of money just to get them myself.
So
And I don't want to deal with
the
this. I don't want to deal with the consignment thing anymore. I understand, like when I was first trying to get things going, it made sense for me, but now at full time, it skews my numbers a little bit. I don't like that. But that's gone well. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, which I talked about last time, were those Scream masks. And I have officially, as of this afternoon, sold out of all my Scream masks.
That's amazing.
So if I'm not mistaken, now I couldn't get back in to check the last couple of orders to see kind of where I was, but if I'm not mistaken, I sold 25 Scream masks this season. I paid, for the most part, I'd say I probably paid about $6.99 or $7.99 for each one. There's a couple I paid $1 for, but mostly they're about $6.99 or $7.99 a piece. So 25 of those. So maybe about 175 to $200 into what I bought. My sales without tax, without shipping, are $1,003.99 on those Scream masks.
Jeez.
So bolo.
And yeah, and those are like, I love things like that are so easy to ship.
Yeah, they're very
Like
easy to ship.
the things that I've been buying are not the easiest to ship. Well, they're not terrible.
Yeah,
Some of them do suck. Some of them are terrible, but most of them are not that bad. But
still have a
none of
shelf
them are
life
as
electronic.
easy as a Scream mask.
Mhm. Yeah,
And again, for anyone that is like, if you're just getting into reselling, you don't have a ton of time, like those are the types of things that you want, things that are very easy to ship, non-breakable.
yeah,
Doesn't take a lot of, it just doesn't take a lot to ship them out. That's definitely a good thing to look out for. That's a great
yeah.
find.
I will have to say that people are really picky about their Scream masks. So like
Are they?
these are mostly collectors. Some
Okay.
of them are looking to buy for Halloween, but I think most of these people are collectors.
Wow.
I had neon green, neon orange. I had metallic green. I had um, metallic blue. I had two variations of the white. I had fluorescent pink or neon pink. And then I had two of these that were Skella face, which it was basically the Scream mask, but it was like a skeleton face. And those each sold for like 75 or 85 a piece.
Jeez.
Those were little, for whatever reason, those were like, I think those were like $5.99. And I don't know what made those. Just weird the way it was priced.
Yeah.
And I noticed there was another local to Ohio reseller who posted recently about how well she did with those masks over the this fall. She said she was finding them all over the place. So they're out there. I'm not going to say where, but they were out there. I bought every one I could. I started to buy it like every one, and I kind of wondered after Halloween. I had like 13 of them left. Well, I sold them all since Halloween. So
Crazy.
I sold just as many after Halloween as I did before. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
one in particular that I have seen, I did not ever come across, but you should be aware of. So first off is the Skeleface one.
Mhm.
The other one, this is Google. That's not the right app. The other one, let's see if it's called. I think that's the wrong. It's basically a Scream mask with burlap over top of it.
Hmm.
And that mask, I'll just show you, but
Oh wow.
that
That's
one's
cool.
75. If you have the whole costume, for instance, I'm not doing this justice because if you go, that sold for 125, I think.
Jeez.
So, there's just be on the lookout. One of those sold for 90 based on the year it was made. So
What's the brand?
it's Fun World slash
Fun World.
Easter Unlimited.
Okay.
The ones that are labeled as Easter Unlimited, I think, are older.
Okay.
Especially if you find any older ones that are original to the original movies in the 90s, 2000s, early 2000s, those have a ton of value because they're made differently.
Okay.
So just something to think about, something to look for. I know when I first started buying them, at one point I would tell you, but not John, because he always would be like, well, Halloween's coming. You're not going to those. And I moved them just as well. So I sold 3 today. So
Crazy.
so that's kind of all I'm going to talk about with like any of my sales or anything. I don't have any bolos or tips necessarily right now. I guess bolo, I talk about those.
I mean, yeah, those Scream masks are definitely a polo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Spent a lot of money on those, and it was a risk. But when I saw how much the ones were selling, I just picked them up every time I saw them after that.
yeah, yeah, I think that was a good,
Then I
that
went
was a good call.
then I went on my honeymoon and was like, oh crap, I didn't list those. And Halloween is happening like the day after we come back. So am I gonna never sell those? I guess I'll just hold them till next year. I think I even told you, yeah, if they don't sell, and I've sold all of them. So
So how much did you, so the Ghost, the Easter Unlimited, how much does that one sell for?
which one?
The Ghost face?
Just the regular one?
Yeah, but Easter Unlimited.
Um, if you find the ones from the like 97,
Yeah, this says it's got a 90s stamp.
they're selling for there's one 200, 179, 115. The one with the tongue, the what's up one, $80, $150. Yeah, it's just, yeah, there was some good money.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I keep
Yeah,
my
there's,
eye out for those over the course of the next year. And I guess for me, Bolo or Tip or whatever, and I I feel like I'm gonna buy Halloween all year. Anytime I find Halloween stuff, I'm gonna buy it because if I'm not mistaken, Halloween stuff seems to sell even more than Christmas stuff.
yeah, Halloween is amazing.
And I think it's because it's such a different holiday.
Yep.
With Christmas, how much of our stuff gets passed down? Like you have a lot of decorations that you get from your family or, you
Yep.
know,
Or your
whatever.
kids make it for you.
Right, right, yeah. So Halloween is, I think, people's chance to be a little bit different. And I kind of mentioned this to Christy once. You know, less and less people are going like to organize religion and stuff, and Halloween is kind of that kind of the
Yeah.
anti-church thing. So I'm not surprised. I think it just kind of follows along with societal norms, and how big it's gotten. And I mean, I love candy. I don't know about you.
I mean, who doesn't love candy?
I definitely collected the dad tax, which I didn't even know was a thing. And then my buddy's like, the dad tax. I was like, what the hell's that? And he's like, well, if the kids go trick or treating, you're the dad. You get to collect tax and eat some of that candy.
I like it.
And I did.
The dad tax.
Tax. It's a very dad thing to say.
That
But
is.
so
Good stuff.
anything else before we kind of move into our main topic?
From a tip perspective, I do have one I can share real fast here. Sorry. So I went to a thrift store the other day, which I haven't done in a while, and I was able to find what I thought was actually really, really cool. So obviously you guys, well, I don't know, obviously, but some of you know that I play guitar and I love guitar. So anytime I see a guitar at a garage sale or a thrift store, I almost always pick it up just to take a look. So I did purchase a guitar. It was pretty beat up, and it was $39. But so I looked at this pickup, or I looked at this. I don't really know what this is even called, to be honest with you. I guess this is the bridge. Sorry. So I looked at this bridge, and I could see that it said Washburn 2001 on it. So I went ahead and looked that up and found out that this bridge and the locking piece for the strings that goes along with it and the whammy bar sells for roughly $200. So, you know, I went ahead and I picked up the guitar and I went ahead and took the stuff off, kind of cleaned it up a little bit, made sure that it was what I thought it was. I listed it today, and it sold in about 20 minutes or so. I took the 176. Mine is not nearly as clean as some of the other ones that I have seen out there. So, and I haven't, I didn't have a chance. That the guitar was so beat up, I couldn't even test that it was, the tremolo was working and that anything was doing what it needed to do. But it should. I mean, this is not really an electronic piece. But my recommendation is, if you see guitars, things like that, sometimes piecing them out is not a terrible thing. I mean, this was, 8 screws to take it off and to clean it up, and that was it. And I'm not shipping a whole guitar. I'm shipping this one little piece in a, in a little bubble mailer, basically. So that would be my tip, and that was one of my favorite finds here recently as well. But I think I will leave it at that.
Okay, cool. Whew.
Getting tired?
I didn't take a nap today. I only took the one medication, so I'm like, well, I'm getting a little tired.
Yeah. Playing hurt today.
Yes. Yes. I've got turf toe.
Turf toe.
Heard Baker Mayfield might have something going on with his foot, which
Oh
is
Jesus.
right. There's always something. Nick Chubb's
Always...
COVID, and it's just something.
That's the ugly. Hopefully he's back.
Right. Yeah, I hope so. Because anyways, so we are in Ohio, as we just discussed. We are finally seeing fall and pre-winter. We're getting things where sometimes it's 30 some degrees and overnight, and then it's 60, 65 degrees during the day, which is real typical of this time of year for Ohio. So what that means is garage sale season is winding down, or is pretty much over at this point. I know John starts talking about it winding down in August, which I get. I understand that mentality. Now, I will personally say I haven't been to a sale since September, I think, because of just everything that happened in October. I was going to thrift stores, and I ended up doing really, really well on that during October. So our garage sale season's winding down. We did a podcast earlier in the year talking about garage sale, how garage sale mimics sort of the baseball season, and it's pretty true for us here in Ohio. We are now, the World Series just ended, and really our garage sale season is mostly done. I saw John's video the other day where he basically said I had two garage sales. One was an estate sale and one was a garage sale. And then the next day he's like, somehow there's like 6 or 7 today, which is not typical of this time of year. So we're really towards the end of it. And so we, as resellers, whether it's part-time or full-time, we have to figure out, how do we source during the off season? Because we're getting there, we're basically in the off season. So Brennan, what are some things you do? I mean, clearly, I know you've already kind of set us up in terms of some of the things you said earlier, because you are already starting, or have always kind of been what I would consider diverse in the way you source items, even during garage sale season. So, so how do we source? How are we going to source in the off season? Because there's a lot of us that listen that are in this area, that have this problem. So
yeah. It's a great question, and I would say that last year was the first year that I really tried to source during this off season. So, and I got very lucky with the chess find last year. So this year, right now, what I'm focusing on, I'm looking a lot through Facebook Marketplace, and trying to build some relationships via some of the things that I found. So like I said, I mentioned, I purchased those, the audio equipment from a church. So, when I went to pick those up, I talked with the guy. I said, hey, typically churches talk to other churches. So I'm like, hey, if you've got any other churches that are going to start upgrading their systems, looking to get rid of some other stuff, here's my information, give me a call. And it kind of goes back to your networking thing, right? It's trying to get your information to as many people as possible that have things to sell. So that's one thing I'm really trying to work on. I think I'll really make make that a focal point next year during the season to try to really build some more relationships, like I did with the Department 56 guy. He is not back until after Thanksgiving, which is kind of a bummer because right now would be a great time to have some of those Christmas items.
Prime time.
Yeah. So we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so doing that Facebook Marketplace, and with Facebook Marketplace, you're not often going to get it at garage sale prices. But if you know what you're looking for, you can still do pretty well. So I've gone in, I've set up a couple of alerts. So, if audio equipment comes up, I'll get an alert. I haven't done it with like video games because I feel like there's so many video games out there, and it's just impossible. So I would say it's better to try to find a little more niche type stuff that not everyone knows about.
Sure.
Or
Find yourself
wants to
some
mess with.
niches. Yeah.
All about finding the niches. So right now my niches are Thomas trains and audio equipment.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that I've been searching for quite a lot. And I mean, other than that, I think the other typical ways I think of sourcing would be, your online estate sales or online auctions.
Yep.
I'm not very good at auctions. I just don't usually have the capacity or the stomach to sit there and watch them enough.
Yeah.
To do well with them. But I know a lot of people do. John does well with them. I know you've done very well with them.
Yep.
Not
my best time ever that way.
Yeah, it's just, for me so far, I haven't found it like enjoyable enough yet to really dig into it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to dig too much into that or not. I think I'll just continue on Facebook Marketplace, and I'll keep looking at I'll look at the garage sale apps every week to see if there's anything out there.
Yeah.
So there's a church sale this weekend, so I'm gonna go talk to these people and say, hey, can you tell your other church friends we need more sales throughout the winter time. You guys are doing it right. Let's get everyone else on board, right. And then this could be a beautiful, beautiful thing. So yes, I'm looking forward to the one this Saturday. Hopefully I can get there.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Looks like there might be a few things going on in my area. I haven't looked at the garage sale apps much at all in the last month at least. So anyways, so I would say piggybacking off of that, I haven't found too much success with Facebook Marketplace. I found some things. I think it's one of the absolute worst organized chaos mess that I've ever seen. And unless you put in those keywords, even when you do, like I put in a keyword and it's like, okay, this was listed. If it says like over something weeks ago or something, it's like over a month ago, it's like, dang it, this has been up there and they already sold it. Like, why is this garage sale still listed? It was in June. So I have a hard time with Marketplace, but I think I need to do better with it. So what I'm trying to focus more on, I have done a lot of thrifting, and I am having a ton of success at my local thrift stores. Valley Thrift and Goodwill, I'm really doing well, and I'm finding things I never would have thought to buy, that I didn't think I'd sell, but I'm starting to develop my eye enough that something catches my eye, I look it up, I have no shame in being one of those people that looks things up while I'm there. I have no problem with that. I'll probably never stop doing that because I want to be smart in my investments and I want to be the most profitable I can be in my business. So that's just me personally.
Mhm.
My focus this year is going to be on my networking. So I'm in my business BNI Business Networking International group in the Metro Dayton chapter here. I paid like $675 or something to be in it this year, which is a lot of money. But um, like I just sold that Rainbow Bright for $240, and that was part of something I received as a tip from one of the people in my networking group. So if you think about it that way, between that sale and some stuff I've done on consignment for another lady in the group, I've already made a good portion of my yearly subscription or whatever back. And people are interested because I'm probably one of the few people in BNI at all anywhere that is a reseller. Um, it's not something they hear every week. They haven't heard for all these years. They've heard from mortgage people, they've heard from lawyers, they've heard from, in our little sales minutes that we do. But what I have to offer is something unique that not everybody, there are probably not many chapters that have someone who is a reseller in their group, because it's not always looked highly upon as a business option. I do think it should be considered a trade and something much more than it is. My group knew me because I was in that group before from my last job, so they let me in. They allowed me to come in there with my group or with my business, and I'm really glad they have. So one of the things I'm one of the guys in my group is the chief information officer for Dayton Children's, but he runs his own company called Organic uh, SEO, search engine
Ah,
optimization.
nice.
And they're located in Dayton here. And one of the things he always talks about is Google My Business. He's like, "Do you have a Google My Business? Do you have something people, if I talk to somebody, do you have a website that basically really basically explains what you do? You got to have somewhere for people to be sent to." And so I'm trying to think about that. I now own the domain downside-up.com. I have an email address associated with that. I've sent invitations to all my Facebook friends I've started my business, like a business on there. And I'm not going to post the things that I typically do to Instagram. I'm going to use this more as, this is my business. I'm going to post some of my listings. Hey, anybody looking for Barbie dolls during the holiday season, check out these listings.
Mhm.
I'm going to try to make it a little more. I think that's kind of what, when the Lululemon or whatever it was called, when
Mhm.
that kind of exploded, some of those things, people use their social media a lot to build. That's how they built their business.
Yep.
And although I don't like what happened with that situation, I think that there are ways in which I can build and do things maybe a little bit differently than some other people are doing it. Instead of focusing my time on YouTube, which makes me no money and would take me about a year to make money in, with constant work,
Yep.
um, I would rather put my time into something else. So, for instance, next week I'm going to be in one of like 10 businesses in an online small business vendor thing. And it's just something my cousin put together and she asked me to be a part of it. So I'm going to try it and see what happens. Basically, I'll post about 3 posts a day. And then if I want to, I can go live. And I kind of thought about, hey, if there's stuff I have unlisted, I could, grab a handful of things, show the kind of things that I have. And if it's got something unlisted, I could sell something, potentially find a buyer on live rather than put it up on eBay and just wait for somebody to come across it. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do some things a little bit differently this year. I am trying to network more and more with people. I want to start, I want to, I'm hoping to have the money to start doing bulk buys because, as John has said, and you're doing it too, but John and you have proven to me that the best way to grow your business is to be able to buy in bulk and get that stuff, because that's, if you buy a trailer full of stuff, for instance, that's three, potentially, a full week of sourcing or 2 weeks of sourcing you did in, how long did it take you to get there, load it up, and take it home?
Yep.
Got all those things in that amount of time, and then you have, a lot of times it's, clearly it's usually good inventory, so it's stuff that's going to move quickly, and it usually has value. So that's something I want to try to bump up. No, I think
Yeah.
that Facebook Marketplace and some of those places have, even Craigslist, I think those places have their place still. Um, for me, I haven't been real successful with it personally yet. Um, Online estate sale auctions, I think that I recommend those. I enjoy those.
Yeah, you seem to have done very well with those.
Yeah, I have. And that's kind of how I started. Once I started with the wrestling figures, and then I found those things and started realizing, hey, if I get this for this price, I could maybe sell it for this price. And that's kind of where I started to see that there was money to be made there. Um, so um, other relationships, are there any other types of relationships that you think we can be looking for as resellers, whether you're part-time, full-time, kind of time, thinking about it time, in and out of sometimes you get that way when you're part-time. You're like, I'm in this week. I'm not, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I would say, I mean, honestly, you could talk to your neighbors.
Mhm.
Like everyone, I mean, everyone has stuff to get rid of.
And I think that's
Like,
why this is a business that is not going to go away.
yeah, everyone always has stuff to get rid of because
We are
everyone always wants to buy
consumers.
more stuff.
We have we consume so much.
Yes, yes, we absolutely do. Yeah, I mean, I've tried with neighbors here a couple of times. I haven't gotten a whole lot yet, but I do think I think that's a viable option. Um, but I also think that during this, during the time where you're not able to source as much, it's also good and important to kind of look at your current inventory, kind of look at what you've got that's out there right now. Maybe run some sales, try to start clearing some things out, and getting some more sales during that time. Um, but yeah, I for me, it's like you mentioned, I will definitely hit thrift stores. I'll try a few online auctions, but I don't know. I just don't love them. Um, I hate the markup. I hate
Because
that
they have
extra.
the fee.
Yeah. I'm just not a fan of that. I understand it though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, if you can find some rummage sales, some church sales, go to those. Maybe talk to some of the people that are running them. So the sale that I know that's happening this Saturday, I just sent the lady that's on that group that's like contact me for rummage sale questions. I was like, hey, you guys are doing it right. Do you have other churches that you could talk to about doing sales at this time of year? Because I was like, hey, we're in Ohio. It's super cold. You will have zero competition.
Yeah.
If you can get a couple churches to do sales, every other weekend, that would be awesome. So I'm going to continue trying to
Build, build
trying to
our
build.
winter. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to try to continue doing that because that's what I see as, that's the way that I see places like Ohio being able to have garage sales year round. If we
Yep.
can get indoor sales to happen during the coldest parts of the year, we can greatly shrink
Mhm.
our off season. So
That's very true.
that's what I'm going to focus on,
Great
I
idea.
think. So we'll see how we can make that
Yeah,
work.
cool. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try some different things. I'm gonna have business cards here soon. Um, business cards. I've got the website. I'm gonna have the Facebook page. I'm gonna try to do some things a little different and just see if I can. Because all you need to do is find one person, and it's not just finding one person who sees your stuff and says, "Hey, I want that stuff." It's finding one person who says, "Oh, I have a lot of those myself." They're just sitting
Yeah,
back in the basement. Oh, I have this. Oh, I know somebody who has those and is trying to get rid of those. That's what I want to do. I'm networking that way. One of the things I am going to do is I'm going to reach out locally to people who are professional organizers
mm,
and like cleaners and try to build some connections with them. I think that's another potential option for, hey, if you're helping people downsize, we know a lady, and I want to sit down and talk with her. Our realtor that helped us buy this house is good friends with us, and she literally is a realtor for people downsizing.
hmm.
Okay, well
Yeah,
that's
that's
perfect. That's a
perfect.
perfect person. So I want to talk with her and see what we can do to work together to help those people get rid of what they want to get rid of. Um, Also allowing me to possibly get big amounts of inventory at one time. Um, so yeah, those are just some thoughts that I have.
That's a great idea. I like that thought a lot.
Anything else on your end um, that you can think of in terms of the off season and
No, not really. If you're, I would say if you're new to reselling, if you're part-time and you're doing it, uh, sometimes it's not bad to have an off season,
true.
to be honest. If you're working a full job and you're doing this as a part-time gig, trying to make some extra money during the season, there's nothing wrong with taking some time off and kind
Yeah.
of recharging. I have definitely done that in years past, and we just had so many things going on throughout the year. It was kind of nice having like, okay, I don't have to do anything for now, so
Yeah.
that's also an option.
Especially right now because you got your holiday season for the next couple months where a lot of people are overly busy with other things. That's actually that's really good advice. Clearly, I can't do that now, but
Yeah,
uh, you had always done that in the past,
yep.
so it makes a lot of sense. Well, I'm gonna have us end this early because
If you're tired,
I'm not feeling well.
yeah,
So,
playing through pain. You're just like Baker, man. You did a great job.
yeah, now my stomach hurts. So,
No, jeez.
anyways, thanks everybody for listening. Again, if you have any advice for us, any feedback of ways we can make this more interesting for you, or if you want to be, if you would want us to consider you as a guest on the episodes, on an episode, reach out to us, flipitcuriously@gmail.com or on either of our Instagram accounts. So until next time, this is Flip It Curiously.
Yes.
And I don't remember what we usually say. Oh, yeah. Till next, when you're out there looking for treasures, make sure that you flip it.
Curiously.
Yes.
Nice work.
All right. Good night, everyone.
See you guys.